Hello, fam, and welcome to the 18th episode of MiraStar Podcast, Season 2, Episode 8. And this is also a very important topic that I will be speaking about, and that might be sensitive for some viewers. And this topic is racism. Racism around the world, racism globally, racism generally. We're gonna be talking everything racism related and stuff like that. And, sometimes with very sensitive or very serious topics, I usually do an ML episode. And an ML is a MiraStar-Only episode, which is just me and not featuring anyone else. I did the same thing for Season 2, Episode 7, which was social media, which was the last podcast episode behind Season 2, Episode 8, this one now. So yeah, racism, it's a very deep topic. Could be sensitive for so many people. Maybe it could be traumatizing to you. Or some people may not have to deal with racist remarks or general racism, or may not know what racism really is. And here I am to cover everything racism for you. Okie dokie. So yeah, it's an ML episode again. MiraStar-Only. So let's deep dive and head into the first question, which is... Let me just get up the first question for you guys, because I've done a lot of planning today, so by the way, so this might be a little out of order. Okay, so the first question for this episode is, what is your opinion on racism? So, my opinion on racism is, I don't know, I feel like there's literally no point in racism. Like, I don't know why it exists, and I don't know why people think racism is right or correct. Oh, I feel like racism is one of them things where it was created because people wanted power. People wanted to be higher than other people. People are selfish. I just generally think racism is dumb. There's literally no point in it. Like, you don't get anything. You don't get paid. You don't get money. Racism doesn't pay your bills. Being racist does not pay your bills. So what's the point in being racist? There's literally no point in being racist. Like, you don't get anything. You don't get paid. It's not helping you in any single form, shape, or way. So, I just generally feel like racism, it's a very, how do I call it? It's a very, racism itself, it's deep, It could be very traumatizing, it could be very scary, and it could be very, I don't know, and some people may think that, I'm overdoing this, I'm overdoing that. When I say traumatizing or scary, like, you've seen stuff like George Floyd, where some people wonder if they would be like a George Floyd and get killed because of their race, or Ahmaud Arbery, or everybody, like, there's loads, like, the list goes on and on and on. You may not know about everything. We only know of what the news say, not what everything in the world is. Because people die every single second you blink, there's another death. Even in between the points where you don't blink, someone is dying, and I can see them. So yeah. Generally, that's only what we see on the news. We don't see everything on the news. We don't see every single person who gets killed because of their race on the news. It's a very sensitive thing that's not always shared. Or maybe it's hidden and not shared because of racism. And, I don't know. I could go many ways. So, next question is, do you think racism should be legally punishable? I think it should. It's 2022 as of right now, and racism, I don't know, it literally brings people nowhere but just degrade. Like, let me just sit down for a second and speak about this, because it generally literally leads nobody nowhere. And so I feel like it should be a legal punishment. And I feel like if there was to be a legal punishment, maybe at least minimum a lawsuit, like fine, and the fine money would probably be maybe a £200 fine for minimum. It makes you, oh my gosh, that's too much. No. It's not too much. It is not too much. 2022. Grow up. Okay? So it's not too much. It's perfect. And the maximum, maximum should be, I think the maximum should be jail time. Yeah, for racism. And the jail time, I think it should be minimum of jail time would be like maybe 10 months. And then maximum probably 2-3 years. Because, bro, we need to get people straightly thinking. People are not thinking. People are not considering other people's feelings. You know? People, like, we need legal action to be put in place for people to consider other people's feelings. That's crazy, you know? And I heard it could be racism is punishable sometimes. Yet it takes a whole riot for a police officer that killed someone, literally a video of it, to get sentenced for something. It literally took a whole riot, protests around the entire world, just for a murderer to be put in jail for murder. Does that make sense? Like, it literally does not make sense. You know, it's literally crazy. Like, it's just really no thing on it. What is your opinion on unintentional racism? So unintentional racism is basically like, say for example the N-word. If you say that and you didn't really know what it meant and you had no clue about it, didn't, you know, you like, and you just generally didn't know what it was, or you said something racist that you didn't actually know was racist. So my opinion on that, I feel like that's fine, but of course, you know, it's still a bit weird. And of course, if you say something that's, you know, intentionally racist, of course, educate the person and let them know why it's racist. Don't have a go at the person, but at least inform them and educate them why it's racist and why what they said is wrong, so they don't repeat it again. So yeah, I generally think unintentional racism is fine because they didn't really know they can't control themselves. But of course, don't say it again. If you say it again, then you know it's intentional because they didn't take what you said, and they didn't, you know. If they say they forgot, and they probably weren't listening in the first place, or they probably didn't really care that much, or they wouldn't really think it's that important to remember, or something like that. Do you think racism impacts on how the world is like? I think yeah, it impacts a lot. You know, with racism in the world existing, if there wasn't racism, there wouldn't be stuff like the Black Lives Matter movement. There wouldn't be, like, it wouldn't exist because, you know, everyone gets treated equally. And then I forgot the Asian one is it? I forgot what it was. Oh no, I forgot what it was. Oh no, that's really annoying. I forgot the Asian, because it was like an Asian movement. Oh yeah, Stop Asian Hate, Black Lives Matter, stuff like that. They wouldn't exist if everyone was already treated equally. You know, like there's no point in having a movement for something that's already fixed or done. You know, that's like, for example, I'm gonna give you guys a little example. That's like having a say if there was a game, everyone hated the game. The game promoted violence, promoted hate speech, promoted racism, stuff like that. And then the game got removed. Yet, people are saying still to remove the game if the game's already removed. Like, it doesn't make sense. If it's not existing, then what are you fighting for? Like, if the equality doesn't exist, what are you fighting for? To be equal? It's already equal. So, yeah, I genuinely think if there was no racism, there wouldn't be, all these big organizations. I'm not saying the organizations are wrong, of course. I stand with them, of course. They're doing completely right. But, it's like, stuff is going to impact everything with a big impact. So, the next question is, why do you think anyone would think racism is acceptable? I don't know. Some people just, I don't even know. I can't even give an answer to this question. Like, I don't know why someone would find racism as enjoyment or entertainment. Like, I don't know. I don't get how you being racist hurting people's feelings because it's something they just generally can't control. Something they were born with. What they were meant to be. Genetics, you can't come at someone for genetics. Like, I always say this and think this to myself. Never come at someone for something they just generally have no control over. Like, people can control many things, but your race, or where you come from, or your genetics, or sometimes what you look like, depending on what it is, you can't really change that. That's literally what you were born as. So, like, it just generally doesn't make sense. I don't really think I don't even know why people think it's acceptable. Because you'd have to have the mind of a racist to answer that question, and I don't have the mind of a racist. How can we overcome the challenges of racism? A way you could do this, ways we could overcome racism is, it's just, realistically, it's very simple, but people don't cooperate. People still are racist, and it doesn't make sense. Like, we could just as simply just treat everyone the same. Like, I don't get why is anyone's skin color matters. Like, it's like, I don't know how to, I don't know what to put as an example. Say this, I'm gonna use these two colors, green and yellow. There was, say green and yellow, they were just normal colors. Actually, no, blue and light blue. Say, because they're both shades of blue. Blue and light blue. Say there was a blue skipping rope, and there was a light blue skipping rope. And then you chose the light blue skipping rope, and then you mistreated the blue skipping rope. It doesn't make sense because they're the exact model, material, shape, they're literally the exact same, just the color is different. It's the same thing. And those preference TikToks of, oh my gosh, which skin color is out? Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, so I find those so dumb. But why are you picking and choosing races to get out? Huh? Does that make sense? Is it coming in your mind correctly? Because it literally just does not make sense. Like, it sounds like I'm whispering and doing some ASMR, but oh no, it just generally doesn't make sense to me. So why y'all picking and choosing races to go out? Like, and some people really just misunderstand. For example, BLM. People misunderstand what Black Lives Matter is about. Black Lives Matter is not about making black people higher than anyone else. Black Lives Matter is to make black people equal as every other race, and every other race should be equal as every other race, because every other race is still a race and it doesn't really matter. The only thing different is genetics, and genetics don't harm anyone, and it's just that the skin tint or shade, the color is just different. So, there's literally nothing to it. It doesn't affect anyone, it doesn't hurt anyone, it doesn't beat anyone, it doesn't slap anyone. It's not physically hurting me. Oh my gosh. It's crazy to me. How do you react to racism towards? I mean, how should you react if you witness racism to someone else? I generally think I don't know, it depends on your age. Sometimes I know you can react the same in your mind, but say if you're a whole adult, you could do something. Of course, you can. If there's something racist, you can of course stop it, and you witness it, you can stop it because you're an adult. You can do whatever you want. But if you're a child, say you're walking in the shops with your parent, and you're a child and you see something racist, you as a child aren't gonna go up to a grown man or woman, like a grown 30-year-old man or something like that, and then start screaming at him, saying, "You're racist, you're racist," like you're a whole child. You could do serious damage. No, because you're only a child. So you could also think the same mentally in our head, oh no, what you said was wrong, you shouldn't have said that. Physically, we all can't really do the same thing about, because stuff like that. But of course, do your best at stopping any racist act. Hey guys, I'm really tired today. I'm very tired today. It sounds like I'm whispering at times, and it sounds like I'm really close at times. Do you think the Black Lives Matter movement is effective? I think it is. Without the Black Lives Matter movement, a murderer wouldn't have got in jail, which is his name is Derek Chauvin, his mother. He wouldn't have got jail time if it was without the Black Lives Matter group chat. I mean, organization. I don't know why group chat came in my head. Organization, Without BLM, a murderer would have just been let loose, had his job, everything, which is fine. But communities donated to families, and they've lost their sons, daughters, other family members due to racial injustices, and stuff like that. So the Black Lives Matter why do I keep saying group chat? The Black Lives Matter organization is doing a lot. Maybe it's not a visible thing, but they're giving an invisible sign of a visible thing. Oh, it's hard to thingy. It's hard to explain. But they're doing stuff that you can't see, but they're always doing stuff behind the scenes. They're always working, paying, donating, supporting, loving, showing care. They're doing stuff. They're doing their best for what they can do and stuff like that. What was your reaction to the killing of George Floyd? I was just generally confused for the whole past. After watching that video, I saw the video and for a whole week after seeing that video, I was so confused. It was all I don't even know. I'm actually confused. I don't even know. I was just shocked. I was just genuinely shocked. I didn't really understand, racism could really go that far in this day and age. The video will happen in 2020. I think it was 25th of May 2020. That's not a really nice way of starting off the decade. But, it happens every year, Who knows? It could even happen every month, every day, every week. Probably not every day, but actually maybe every day. There's 7.9 or 8 billion people in this world. So who knows what goes on. In 200 and something countries? 7.9 billion or 8 billion? It's a lot of people in the country. Very big. Okay, next question. Have you ever been to a protest? No, I've not actually been to a protest. Yeah, I've never actually been to a protest, but I've seen protests. Not in real life, but I've seen them online. Surprisingly, I've never actually seen one, in real life, people walking, but, yeah, would you like to go to a protest? I do stand for what they say. I feel like protests, they're not really my type of thing. Oh no, because, COVID, they're all shouting the same thing of spit everywhere. So walking everywhere. And cars passing through. This. People, loads of attacks happen during protests. It's not really my type of thing. I won't come at someone for who does it, of course, because that's, what they do and stuff like that. And they don't mind. They don't have any problem. We don't have the same opinion. I don't mind people who go to protests. This is generally, to me, it's not something I would go to or do or take part in. But people do it, and, stuff like that. They don't mind it. But, I don't know. This is just generally something I wouldn't do. Okay. Next question is, have you encountered racism? Oh wait, I read the question. I was reading something else. Do you think racism should be... No, I've already answered that. Do you think every race can go through racism at the same level? So this means, kind of every single race basically experience racism at the same extent. But, I don't know, it's hard to explain in different words. I think I read it kind of fine. No. I don't think people can experience racism with other people. For example, people who are white, they don't have a slur against them. They are the majority. They're not oppressed. Compared to other people who aren't the majority, they are minorities, they are oppressed, and they're POC, which white people aren't, which is different. So I guess they can't really go through racism at the same level. I'm not saying they can't, but not at the same level. Those aren't really severe, because I don't know. It's a bit Do you think racism is taught, or are people born racist? I don't think being born racist exists. I feel like racism links to genetics. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. Racism, in my opinion, links to where you're brought up. Because if you're brought up around black people, or Asian people, or Hispanic people, you wouldn't have a problem with them. So, because, you're with them and you know they're fine, there's nothing bad about them. But if you grew up in, a white neighborhood, had racist people surrounded near you, you'd become one of them because you're influenced by them. Because racism, you don't be born racist. You're not out of the womb and you're racist. You don't have such a opinion on people to kill them when you're born. Something you must have been taught or led onto, or has been passed on to you. Not genetically, but just, I don't know. Do you think the color of your skin affects anything? No. I don't really think, the only thing color of your skin affects is maybe it's just your look. You just look different. That's it. Personality, it doesn't make your personality different. It doesn't make who you are. It's just different skin tone or skin hue. Maybe sometimes genetics. But I don't know. Now I'm extra tired, by the way. Heck, sorry guys, this is really tired. I'm really hungry at the same time. But yeah, I generally don't think it really affects anything. The only thing that affects is your skin and genetics. Now, next question is, what is your opinion on people who aren't black saying the N slur, or more widely known as the N word? If you aren't black and you say the N word, I generally just, if you are aware of it too, you should know better. You should literally know better. Even if I'm not offending anyone with it. It's so easy to avoid. It just slipped out by accident. The only way you could slip out is if you say it regularly. so it just doesn't slip out. It's something you say regularly. Like, say if you're on a TikTok and you're doing some lip sync or a voice thing, or you're trying to rap out a song, and oh, I accidentally said no. It's so easy to skip, but it's something in your language, in your lingo, your vocabulary that you regularly say, that just slips out. This one's like YOLO, or yeet all the time, or whatever they do. It's a habit, and it just slips out because that's something you would say. Same with the N-word, if it's something you say a lot, it would slip out more. But I don't really think you should not say the N-word if you're not wrong. Even if you're, I'm not offending anyone, still don't say it. But what's the point? You don't get a medal. You don't get anything. So there's literally no point. Just have the respect. Like, bro, come on now. So yeah, I don't think you should say it. If you're not black. Do you think people aren't doing enough to solve racism? Generally, yeah. Like, racism could be solved, but people just aren't putting that extra effort to solve racism or overcome the problems of racism. Like, racism could realistically, in its easiest form, just stop hating on each other, be normal, like just treat everyone else like you treat anyone else, and just live your life free. Like, that's it. That's literally it. That's as simple as it could get. But some people, there's still racist people who lack courage, like sympathy for other people, which is despicable. So yeah, people are they're just fussy. Just generally fussy people. I'm not even joking, just generally selfish, fussy people. Where do you think racism originates from? Because racism, you could say it originated in America. Slavery, I guess. But that's from all I know. Of course, slavery plays a part in racism. But yeah, probably America if I had to guess, because, racism, bringing slaves over from Africa to America, Jamaica, Caribbean, stuff like that, do you think people who are Asian can experience racism? I think Asian people can experience racism. I actually think Asian people can experience racism. Because Asian people, they aren't the majority. They are colored. They're from a place that is not either Europe or America. I know there is still black Asians who are not from Europe or America, but I mean, like, originally, because Asians are from, most of the Asians are from Asia, because Asians are, Asia, Asians, makes sense, like African, every single black person is African. So, same with Asians. That's just the origin. So yeah, I think Asian people can experience racism just like a black person can, or something like that. Do you think white people can experience racism? That's a very mixed one. I feel like they can, but it's not really severe. Like, it's not even that big. Cause realistically, if you think about it, they've always had power, so they could just generally get, like, they've always had power, so it's like sometimes they want to be oppressed. Like, you have power, what are you complaining about? You don't have a whole word against you. You've never lived through 400 plus years of slavery work and had to fight for freedom for 400 plus years, or have an ancestry, or, some like experience, I don't know, just something. that links back. Yeah, never really, but they still can, but like it's not really big. They can't really, a person can't really say much for a white person to be racist. So it's harder to be racist for a white person. Because for a black person, boom, simply say one word, racist, and then you're being racist too. Asian people, you can say one word to racist, or you could do this gesture with your eye to mock racist, mock languages within Asian culture, racist. You can do so many things in just simple racist. Well, when it comes to white people, you have to like, I don't know, like it's more complicated to be racist to a white person. Some people think that if you're mixed race, you cannot say the N-word. Do you agree or disagree with this statement? I don't really think it's my place to answer this question. I don't really know, to be honest. I don't know, because sometimes mixed people can white pass, which means come out as white. I mean, like, say that they're white. Like, sometimes mixed race people could just generally say they're white, and some people would actually believe them. Like, it'd be believable. But, maybe if you're white passing, no. I don't know. Or maybe if, say half the word. But generally, I just actually don't know. And I don't think it's my place to answer that question because I have the clueless and I don't know the answer to that. And I'd probably get some dumb response, like I'm joking. But especially how tired I am, I'd probably give one dumb, dusty answer. If racism didn't exist, what good things could have happened? I feel like if it didn't exist, we would, instead of focusing on our minds with racism, we could be actually thinking of something else, like how to cure cancer or stuff like that. But you know, we're still on racism because it's a problem that still needs to be fixed. It's not being fixed, and has not made the injustices to justice. So I generally think that there's lots of good things that could happen if it was solved. So yeah. Do you think the world is slowly overcoming racism or getting worse at handling and managing it? I think racism within the world is getting better, I guess. Slowly, very slowly. Not really heard much about racism at all, but I'm thinking it's getting better, you know, progressing and less problems and stuff like that. You know, I have a good feeling. I think it's getting better. Just good, at least. But of course, there's still many racist issues and stuff going on in the world. Do you find racism overall as a topic sensitive? Wait, let me redo that. Do you find racism overall as a topic a sensitive subject? I think, yeah, some people, it's a sensitive subject for some people. Some people may have experienced racism and do not like speaking about it. Some people maybe experience racism and they don't know how to express their feelings. People may tear up when they explain their racist, you know, what they've been through with racism and stuff like that. I don't know, a lot, to be honest. There's a lot, but yeah, I generally think it can be called as a sensitive subject, in my opinion. Do you think people should be forced to learn about racism? I think people should, generally, because racism is something you need to know and learn about. Like, racism, people should know about it. Maybe something you don't want to know about, but you still have to know about it. I think people, they should know about racism. So I just generally feel like racism is something people should know about. Maybe something you don't want to know about. But generally, I think we should know about it. Because it's important and it's an important subject slash topic. Do you think schools let people get away to it with racism? I think, yeah. There's many racist issues within school, and some people just get let out for it. So, yeah. I think they do get away a lot with racism within school. They shouldn't get away with it, but I feel like, they let it fly too much. They don't do enough to stop it, generally. I feel like there is more they could do, but they just generally don't do anything. It's like within, what do you think the school punishment for racism should be? I think it wouldn't be expel, not an expel. Because if there was, with so many racist incidents within school, a lot of the school would get expelled. So maybe like an isolation, internal exclusion, i.e., or something like that. Yeah, I think that is what should happen. If you don't know what an isolation is basically where for an entire day you're in this room and you can't leave the room. There's no one else there, and you have to do all your work in that room. And stuff like that. Sometimes people have 2-day isolation, a week isolation. I don't know. Imagine having a month isolation though, just in a room by yourself, coming to school, just be by yourself for 6 hours in a room that you can't leave, just to do work you don't want to do. That is sad. So be good kids. What do you think of the school? Do you think that racism can be solved easily, but people are stubborn and want power? Yeah, I think racism, it can be solved, but people are just generally fussy and want power. And there's this word, and I forgot what it is, but people just generally want power. They want to be seen as higher. They want to be seen as dominant, prominent. They just want to be seen as higher than everyone else. But racism is not, racism is not good. It's not good. But people are that selfish, they would hate on other people just because they want power. That's actually sad. That's literally disappointing. I'm not even joking. That's actually sad. Like, it's crazy to think of. It's crazy to think that because it actually happened, and it's actually crazy. Do you help with ending racism? I feel like there's not much I can do from my own perspective, but mainly I can just educate, and that's what I do, and that's what I try to do, of course, and try to do my best with educating the uneducated with racism. Of course, I do what I can, and I do my little part to add to a whole big part. So, and you should also do the same with helping to end racism, because that is good and it comes in handy. How can we educate those about racism? Just let them know why it's wrong, how everyone's the same, and there's literally nothing different but skin tone, sometimes genetics, stuff like that. Inform people about other cultures, about religions, ethnical groups, let people know, and stuff like that. What do you think the Black Lives Matter is all about? I think Black Lives Matter is literally all about, Black Lives Matter is about uplifting black people so they are equal as every other race. So, stuff like that. Not to make them higher than anyone else, but to make them equal. Not lower, equal. the same respect, the same treatment, and the same perspective as everybody else in the world as a race. Do you think protests are helping to put an end to racism? Kind of, yeah. And without, people don't want protests. So people wouldn't, like, for example, George Floyd, another police wouldn't start, like, I've not heard a police kill someone on the street like that in a while. So people are not getting killed because they know if it happens, people will be put on leave, people will be put in jail, people will be filmed, people's houses will get burned, thrown rocks at, their cars will be destroyed, their jobs will be lost, they'll be broke, and they'll be humiliated and shamed. So it's putting an end, something like that, and having a whole world hating you. That's just, wow, it's crazy. That's sad. So people will not want that to happen. So protests are doing something. What are your opinions on the fact that a whole riot has to happen for police to get jail time for murder? I don't even know. I feel like, is that crazy that a whole protest, a whole riot has to go on for a police to get jail time when they literally committed a crime, literal murder for no reason? Like, what's the excessive thing for? Like, it doesn't make sense. Okay, we're on to the last question now, which is define racism in your own words. What do you think it is? I think racism is hate to another person for their race, like their skin tone and what they, Actually, no, not skin tone, because you could be black and be light skinned, which would be colorist or colorism. So let me restart. I think racism in my words is giving hate to another person or group of person or people, personnel, for their race. Yeah, that's basically, I feel like, discrimination towards someone because of their race. I just generally, that's, in my words, what racism is. So yeah, that's racism in my words. Discrimination to someone because of their race. And that is the end of this podcast episode. Sorry if it felt a bit quicker than usual. I'm very tired today, so yeah. And as you know me, Mr. MiraStar, podcast guy, I have a quote at the end of every single podcast episode. And the quote for this episode is, "All races are beautiful. The racism is despicable." That is the quote for season 2, episode 8. And made by myself. Me, Mr. Poet, quote guy, swag. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast episode and listening to my views and opinions on this MiraStar-Only episode. Don't forget to follow the podcast for more podcast episodes. I'm always delivering to you guys. Hoping you guys will enjoy. And yeah, I'll see you in the next podcast episode. Love.